Look at that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ring, ring. Who's this? Who's that?
Yo, what's good?
Justin?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, oh my gosh, something is wrong.
On the line? Hey, you like this? You like this phone?
Yo, if you don't hate that dinosaur phone.
For those of you that can't see what I'm holding, it's one of those brick phones
Yeah.
that like they used on Saved by the Bell or some kind of show like
Is that
that.
one of the first cell phones that was created, right? Is that one of the first?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I bought this at like a garage sale. I paid like $10. I paid up for this just because I wanted it because it was so cool, you know?
Is it worth $10? Seriously. Here's inquiry.
Maybe. You know they sell those like the first Apple computers. If you have one of those, it's like thousands and thousands because people now get nostalgic and collect that old stuff.
Yeah. I ain't seen one.
I don't know. Yep. All right, Justin. Do we call you Just? Do we call you Justin? What do we call you tonight?
You called me Justin, so why not go with that? But
what's your wife? What's your wife call you?
Just.
Okay.
I mean, it could be baby occasionally. Sometimes it could be take out the trash.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, if you want to call me
it's
baby,
funny,
you know what I'm saying. But
I'm gonna go with Just. Because that's what you are in my phone.
Thank
you. You are Just.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Jus Leverette, right?
Yep.
Is that pronounced right?
Yep.
Leverette.
It's French. Yep.
Not Leverette, but it's Leverette.
Yep. Correct. With the E on the end.
Nice.
2 T's.
Yes.
Sometimes you
just
the silent E. No E. I got the E.
Yep.
Still the same family. They just want to be.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And we're both coming live from the North Kakalaki.
Yeah.
We are both in North Carolina right now. I just recorded with my buddy in San Diego. So it was the first time I recorded an episode with someone not in North Carolina. So that was kind of cool. Like, yeah. So you, what'd you get into today? Anything interesting or just boring stuff?
Nah, man.
Cut the grass, I don't know.
Nah, I pay somebody. I gave that up last summer, bro. Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? For you guys out there that don't know me, I'm a man of faith. So that normally shapes a lot of what I do throughout the day. But today was a very active day. I got to drop my son off at preschool, which is always fun. And then from there, I had an unexpected appointment over in Mooresville over at Lake Norman High School. Shout out to Lake Norman High School.
Both my kids went there.
I did not.
And graduated from there. Yeah, my baby girl graduated last year.
Okay, shout out to Lake Norman High School.
Yep.
And I got to spend some time with FCA and just see,
okay.
The good body of work that they doing over there at Lake Norman High School, and I got to meet a couple of cool people.
Wow.
So, yeah, man.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Now,
I love to hear it.
What I was going to do today was go golfing. All of that got disrupted. So, yeah, that was.
Hey, my dad is so sad that me and my brother and sister, none of us really took to golf, and it was so sad for him, because he just loves it. But me and Pops last year went to the Masters.
Really?
Which was incredible. Yeah, my mom got tickets for my father because it was like, his bucket list.
Dang.
And so him and my mom walked around one day, and then me and my father walked around another day. But it was just for the practice rounds.
Yeah. Oh,
but it's cool because you see everybody. Yeah. Everybody's just kind of chilling. You see all these people out on the putting green practicing,
Yeah.
It was magic. It was really cool.
See, when I talk to people about golf nowadays, people be like, yeah, golf is such a boring sport. I don't know if I can get into it. And I just need people to understand one thing. First of all, when you hit a ball straight for the first time, it forever changes your game.
Oh,
That's the first thing. So go out there
Yeah,
and try to hit
yeah.
the ball right. All right. And when you do,
Uh-huh.
and you figure it out, then good. Remember, in your
Uh-huh.
swing, you want to form. Almost think of yourself forming a kind of like a Nike check from you going back
Uh-huh.
to. Think
Uh-huh.
of you forming a Nike check. So from your backswing to coming back down, it's like the swoop, Nike swoop. So think of that in your golf swing, and you hit a lot of straight balls. Think of that. Try and mimic that,
Okay.
and keep your head down. Keep your head down.
Was that free of charge for anyone listening?
Free of charge. Come out it. But nah, I don't know. You can pay for me a round or two if you want. But what I want to say is actually golf
Yeah.
is one of the most lit sports.
Okay.
Because when those majors, when they hit a birdie, just in case you don't know, that means under par, one under par. But whenever
Uh-huh.
they hit a great shot, like people are going crazy, bro. Like they throw big hands on the green. I do not throw beer cans on the green, ladies and but they are shouting, they're roaring. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's legit. So I would tell people go check out Quail Hollow,
Mm-hmm.
Quail Hollow in Charlotte. You know, South side of Charlotte, South Park area.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get your first ever taste of major golf participation, get you a couple of tickets. Go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be in your own
Mm-hmm.
backyard. So if you feel like you wasted your money, then you can just go shopping at South Park or something like that and call it a day.
That's right.
So there you go.
Unless you're listening from like New York
Yeah.
or,
Then find
then
wherever the majors coming. I forgot. Shout out to North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's make that clear. That's where we in the greater Charlotte. So
That's right. That's
there
right.
you go.
Well, just tell me about you grew up around here,
Yeah.
but then you went out to Chicago for a while and then you came back.
Yeah.
But when you were growing up around here, was it around Charlotte somewhere?
I'm a small town country boy. I'm not country, but I grew up in Lexington, North Carolina, barbecue capital of North Carolina, vinegar
Uh-huh.
based. So all you barbecue
Uh-huh.
fans out there, vinegar based, Lexington is the best way to go. Um,
Okay.
so I grew up there, and I actually ended up moving to Charlotte in about 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And I was here for a few years. Obviously, on church staffs and things like that. And then I met a beautiful young lady, and we moved up to Chicago around 2019. Um,
Okay.
and we were there for a few years, and then we moved back down here to the Denver area, Denver, North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, not Colorado, but Denver, North Carolina. So people don't.
Yeah. What do you see as like the distinctions between so you've experienced a big city
Yeah.
in Illinois, a big city in North Carolina. Like what are like some distinctions real quick between Chicago and Charlotte?
Southern hospitality is a real thing. And sweet
Okay,
out
okay,
is a real thing. I'm telling you, the only way you get sweet tea up north, or in the Midwest, quote, is if you go to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. You're not getting it anywhere else. So I'm just saying, don't go to
uh-huh.
Chicago or the Midwest expecting to get sweet tea. Um,
Okay,
the other thing is Chicago is a beautiful place to visit, not a beautiful place to live. Like
okay,
it is. I mean, and I'm not talking like most people think of Chicago. They're like, oh man, so much crime and this. No, like they're like I'm telling you, like I experienced zero crime when I was in Chicago. I didn't
okay.
really experience any of that. So it's all a matter of where you live, and it's all a matter of who you're around for sure. So, but Chicago is
Mm-hmm.
one of those places where it's kind of like Charlotte. It's like it's like mini cities inside of like a big city, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you got West End, and you got like South End in Charlotte. You got Uptown. You got Noda. You got South Park is so
Mm-hmm.
much like Chicago is the same way. Like you got your
Mm-hmm.
own pockets of where people hang out, but then there's the central areas to which everybody goes to. And then the last thing I say is everything in Chicago is on the grid. So if you learn the grid on how to like traffic wise. If you learn the grid in the city, then you can maneuver
Mm-hmm.
around and do whatever you need to. So
Interesting.
those are some of the main things.
How about the wind? I mean, it's the windy
It,
city. Like, did you feel that?
oh yeah, oh yeah. We moved
Okay.
there, bro. When we moved there, we moved there after the winter vortex, y'all. Oh my stars and the moon that comes with it. So let me explain something to you. We moved there, and when I moved there, I stand 6 foot tall. We came across snow mounds. I kid you, there were at least 6'8". Like I'm talking about in
Ooh,
height, from the ice
yeah.
being like snow being piled up and stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, how snow shuts down the city down here, it don't do that in
Uh,
Chicago. Like still going to school, and in the Windy City thing, that's really because of the way that the buildings and the towers are. That causes
okay,
pushes the wind. The wind has to basically maneuver throughout the city. So it's
got you,
really, that's why it is, because you can get really strong winds because of how the towers are built and the city buildings are built downtown. So yeah.
got you. All right. Well, without further ado, let's turn the corner.
Yeah.
We are at cruising altitude now of this podcast episode, and everybody got to know Jus a little bit. So the moment you want to talk about, you said it was maybe when you were a teenager.
Uh
Like, how old were you when this happened?
yeah. So yeah, it was probably I was probably after high school for sure. Um
Okay,
but
so maybe 18,
yeah,
19.
about 18, 19. So I grew up as a drummer. I learned drums around the age of like 8 or 7 or 8,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And so I grew up in church playing the drums, and would travel in local areas and play the drums and stuff like that, concerts. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I graduated, I was doing community college, but I was doing some small town traveling with music with a couple of
Mm-hmm.
groups that I was a part of. And one of my cousin's church, I was like, I don't know, it was weird, bro, because I don't really know what sprung board, what was the catalyst for me sitting down and saying I'm going to try and write a song. But all I know is like I remember always hearing melodies, and like as a drummer I would just start tapping, and I would hear these like melodies in my head. And like I sat there and I wrote this song. The name of the song is "Worship is What I'm Made to Do." And I know it's a lengthy title, but that's, I to this day I think it probably deserves a better title, but it's the chorus of the song, or the gist of the chorus. So and
Hey, Jess, listen. I wrote a song one time because I wrote music too back in the day. I wrote a song one time called "I'll Take What's My Purpose for 400, Alex."
stop playing.
I wrote it.
Please tell me you still got that recorded down somewhere.
I do. I'll send it to you after we're done.
Nah, you just need to play. You need to play it for the listeners so they know that it's a real.
I don't know about all that. All right, so you write this song, but did you write it just by yourself in
Yeah,
your bedroom
100%.
with a notebook?
Yeah. So I wrote the.
And so how did you
Go ahead.
go ahead?
So I wrote the
I was gonna
chorus
say,
first.
okay. Like, would you just write? So you only played drums. So how do you write a song if you only know how to play drums?
Um,
That's what I'm wondering about.
that's crazy, right? I took chorus in high school, so
Okay.
I could hold a note, like I low key. I'm not a great singer, but like I can sing. Like if you know
Okay.
what I'm saying. Um, but I took chorus in high school, and so I knew I could hold a note. But I grew up around music so much that literally, bro, there are always like even right now, like there are melodies always going to my head. Probably because I just mentioned that song. But
Right.
there were always melodies kind of going through my head, and as a drummer, I
Uh
could
huh.
always put it. I knew what beat I would record. Like I would remember recording the beat. Ding, 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 ding. Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's that song, right? And I'll just do like the chorus of a song, and then I'll come back to it, because you want to let the chorus kind of marinate in your spirit a little bit. So that's what it was. So I ended up writing this chorus, and then later on I came back to the song, and I just remember um like the chorus is to worship is what I'm made to do, and then and I'm like, all right, worship is what I'm made to do. Like that means it, and I started thinking about what that means. Like, and then it started coming to me like freedom and love and all these other things that kind of embody worship to me. And so I sat there and I wrote like this really, really nice song. And so I took it to my cousin who was playing piano. He was shout out to Keith Richardson, down in Houston, Texas. He's a image coach now. But
Okay.
he used to play keyboard, and he sung all around the nation, in the world. And he sat there. He was like, "Okay, we're gonna try and do this, right?" And so he started chording it and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, that's it, bro. Like that's it. That's fire right there. That's how it goes." And so I just remember like humming it, and he picked it up, and bro, oh my stars, bro, it was like heaven came and touched earth for a quick second, bro. Like it was amazing,
Wow.
man. It was amazing, yeah. It was amazing. It's very liberating, and at the same time, it's very empowering, because I think that for me, I was always just a musician. Like I was always just a
Mm-hmm.
drummer, and I was gifted to play the drums, but I
Mm-hmm.
never want to be boxed to just one thing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the song, when you write a song or when you do something poetic like that, it's like you having the ability to express a gift within a gift. Because while I was the songwriter of the song, I was also the drummer of the song. And
Mm-hmm.
I got the opportunity to watch people respond to a song that they didn't know I wrote, but they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, like this is catchy, like this is amazing." Like, and to see people like worship, and like to see people ask like, "Hey, is this recorded? Who wrote this song?" And then he was like, "Yo, just wrote this song." Like people were like, "Oh my god!" Like, you know what I'm saying? It was inspirational because it made me want to write more songs. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it showed me that like I can do other things outside of what people already know me to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's really fun, man. It was really, I'm grateful for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
So did you record it
It never. I mean, in the church it got recorded, but we never went like into a studio.
in a studio or
Or,
something?
trust me, if I did, people would hate me because I
Not
playing it
yet.
all the time. Like I tell my
Hey, you
wife,
hear this song yet? Yes, we heard it, Just. We heard it.
I tell my wife that.
Yeah, don't you want to hear it again? No, we're good.
So yeah.
Wow.
But real quickly, one of the cool things that
Yeah.
came from that was, so we did this concert this one time in Winston Salem, and I remember the group that I was playing with. We left there, and we went back to the leader's house, and my god sister, and she had two guitars on the wall. It's a bass guitar, and then she had a regular acoustic guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and she would let us fiddle around with the music because we were musicians. And I remember coming back, and I don't know what the heck I did. I just put my hands on the guitar in a certain position, and I played this note, and it sounded right. Then I
Mm-hmm.
played another note, and it sounded right. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my gosh!" And like literally, bro, I picked up learning. I'm not a master at the acoustic guitar or anything by any means, but I picked
Mm-hmm.
up learning how to play the guitar, and from there, bro, like there were more songs that come from just that. And
Right.
if I can go there real quick without preaching to people,
Uh-huh.
I think that's a direct reflection of faith, right? So God is like, if you just take a step, and it's just a small thing. I know you don't really know what's on the other side. I know you really don't know what you're doing, but if you just take a
Right.
step in this small thing, I'm going to show you like I got something, I got a gift for you. I got a present for you on the other side. And like this
Okay.
song just opened up the door to me just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna pick this guitar up off the wall and play this." Like I didn't know what I was doing, but like
Uh-huh.
by that song, it opened the door for me to go and have the confidence just to play a guitar. And from that guitar, like more songs came. Again, I'm not a master at an acoustic guitar at all, but like
Yeah.
I got songs that I've written because of one small step of faith that tied to another step of faith. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I just it's gifts and expression that gift, man, it's a beautiful thing. So
Did you ever have this like either it was real or it was your ego, whatever was steering the ship at the point? Did you ever think like, oh, here I go. I'm gonna start like because I had to deal with that
mm,
when I wrote songs, but I set out to write songs for the purpose of using in this organization called Young Life.
Yeah.
And so I attempted to write songs that were about the intersection between not having faith and having faith.
Dang.
And so it's like, what if all this stuff is true? What if this is real? Can you
Mm,
fix these broken things in me?
yeah.
It wasn't worship music at all.
Yeah.
And it was like there's one that said, Jesus, take the pieces of my heart and make a beat again.
Wow.
That's part of the chorus that I wrote. But then I was like, oh, well, now I recorded an album
Yeah.
of like 10 songs.
Dang.
And two of them I was spitting bars on. Uh, and I was trying so hard to make music that could be used within the Young Life
Yeah.
context that sounded more current,
Yeah.
because the ones that we would sing in there were written in like the 80s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's making something new? And so that I was like, I guess I am. And so I wrote these songs, I recorded them, I dropped like $4,000 on recording and actually making CDs.
Yeah.
It's like the early 2000s. I actually made like 1,000 copies of my CD, got it mastered and all. And then I lost my way because I lost the first reason that I
But
did this. And I started thinking like, oh, well, I'm going to start playing it like wherever,
yeah.
like I'm going to start taking my music out. People are going to be into this. And I was like, I realized that I was not that good of a musical performer. I was very comfortable doing public speaking, dressing up as characters, being silly,
Yeah.
uh, but I was not that good. I was not that polished
Yeah.
at like performing music. And so I lost my way.
Yeah.
So for you, like at the height of like, oh, I'm writing songs, I'm playing, I'm able to travel a little bit. People are giving me this big response. What was like that? What was that like for you?
Honestly, I when I set out to write songs, I set out to write songs to connect with people through without being the one that was leading it. So I always assumed the background position. I was always the drummer slash songwriter. I was never like the key leader or whatever. And I knew that
Mm-hmm.
that's songwriting was uh a untapped gift that I happen to explore and discover. It's like poetry, right? That's really what it is. Your
Mm-hmm.
ability to put songs together is nothing more than poetry, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I've always had a heart to connect with people and to see people liberated and freed from whatever it is that they're feeling. And if that happened to
Yeah.
be me playing the drums, like it's me playing the drums. If it happened to be
Mm-hmm.
I had the opportunity to write a song and this group is going to sing the song, then that's what it is. Or if it happens to be public speaking or preaching or meeting with whoever, like I just wanted to connect with people. And so I think for me though, what started I think what stopped me writing songs was honestly, bro, the thing that stopped me was because I got tired of being overlooked, bro. And I got tired of being thought of just like this is just who you are, like as a drummer, and like you know your lane, know your role, and play it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That and the fact
Mm-hmm.
that like every season has a time, like everything has a time
Right.
in the space
Right.
for its duration. And so it's like I still play the drums, but that's not the main thing I do. I can still write a song, but it's not going to be the main thing that I do. My main thing,
Right.
what I always started out to do, which was connecting with people, and that's what brings me alive. So it doesn't matter if it's writing a song with drums or chefing. I used to love cooking. Like it doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
about none of that. It matters that at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, I'm able to touch you or reach you in the language that you can, that we can connect in. Does that make sense? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then also to that pride piece, man. Like after you get tired of like kind of supporting other people's dreams and hopes and aspirations, and you have them of your own,
Mm-hmm.
like you just and nobody really supports you like that. Like you just kind of be like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna just do something else. You know what I'm saying? So it was both. While it's freeing, it also can become it can become something that ends up scarring you at the same time, if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
the right perspective or prerogative. So that's one of the things that I learned from it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about people that say, "Oh, I'm not creative. I ain't got a creative bone in my body." Do you think it's actually there inside every human being that there's the ability to create whatever? I mean,
Yeah,
it could be dancing, it could be
yeah,
sketching, it could be painting, it could be poetry, it could be singing, it could be architecture.
yeah, yeah.
But do you think that it's true that some people just aren't creative, or it's just undeveloped? What's your perspective on that?
I think that I answered that by saying, was everybody a child at one point before they became an adult? The answer
Mm-hmm.
would be yes. When you were a
Mm-hmm.
child, did you dream? Did you come up with, dinosaurs, or did you have make believe
Mm-hmm.
characters? All right, that was that was a creative expression right there, right? Think
Mm-hmm.
over the course of time, we take take ourselves too seriously and the world around us too seriously, and we feel like, and we begin to form and morph ourselves into this person that we don't even enjoy, which ultimately robs us of that youthful creativity. I, for one, always think
Mm-hmm.
that the child in us never goes away. We just learn
Mm-hmm.
to mask it and contain it. And whenever you don't unleash that, you block the creative genius inside of you, because I think it starts in your infancy, um, and you have the responsibility to continue to cultivate that in whatever it may be. Like, you can be a plant, you can plant plants, but how you plant the plant is your own creative expression. Do you do it in rows,
Sure.
or do you do it in a straight line?
Sure.
Like, when you
Yeah.
cut grass, like, do you cut grass in a straight line? Do you go in zig? Like, nobody, there's
Right.
no rules to how you can create. It's a matter of
Right.
how you limit your own self. And I think that there are too many.
Even decorating a room,
Yeah, 100%,
or you know.
100%.
So here's a follow up, and then we're getting close to being out of time. But here's a follow up: is what for people that I think about this when, like, remember on like back in the day on American Idol, how they would have some clowns come on
Mm-hmm.
and then they would just roast them,
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "You can't sing at
yeah,
all," Simon Cowell. They're like, "You're so mean," and it would
oh,
be like, "No, he's actually right," but it was the producers were putting these people through
yeah,
on
yeah,
purpose so they could get roasted.
yeah,
But so often you would hear someone say, "Well, I ain't gonna give up on my dream. I don't care what y'all say,"
yeah,
and then they would storm out of the room after their audition. That was terrible.
yeah,
Well, my mom told me I could sing, so I ain't gonna give up on my dream. When is it actually time? Like for you with music,
yeah,
you started to turn the corner where you're like, I'm not gonna be putting an inordinate amount of time into this. I'm gonna put my time elsewhere and kind of put that on the back burner. It's always gonna be on the stove, but it's just on the back burner now. But how do you know when to tap? In a UFC fight, when they're like,
yeah,
I'm about to be choked out, I'm tapping, or my arm's about to be broke, I'm tapping. But how do you know? Because so many people keep on
yeah,
pursuing something that they probably shouldn't.
yeah. I mean, honestly, um, gifts come. Gifts come from the creator above, and it's kind of like, um I think whenever you start to evolve yourself, so I think there comes a point where everybody has to kind of make like a benchmark when you got to kind of remake yourself, right? I think that's
Mm-hmm.
like every 15 to 20 years if you live that. So
Mm-hmm.
like when you get to 20 and you're like doing something or whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm thriving in it, or I'm not thriving in it. It doesn't matter. It's like you need to start thinking about, okay, is this something that is going to sustain you the next 20 years? Like, and it may be,
Mm-hmm.
but what else? Because if that's the thing that's sustaining you, then what is going to be your outlet? Because if you're always
Mm-hmm.
doing the things that sustains you, then that's going to burn out soon. So
Right.
I believe personally that, like, you need to have at least, if you got one thing that you're doing well, you need to have 2 or 3 things that you're cultivating within yourself that you can express or start learning, so that whenever you get to that place or upon that place, then you can already say, oh yeah, man, I started learning this. And now that no longer, that thing can continue to be the focus by choice, or it doesn't have to. But the reason why I say that is because I think that the world is so big and there's so many people out there that you can learn and grow from, that you don't want to be restricted to just
Mm-hmm.
one thing that you're always doing. Like, now, if that
Mm-hmm.
becomes your career, that's great. But even the greatest singers and the greatest artists and musicians or whatever, like they got other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you lead young people, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
also collect things on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that invites you into other circles where you can learn and grow from other people. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you have an outlet to tap into. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know if there is a time, but I know that soon enough burnout will kick in. So you just gotta be cognizant of that, no matter who you are,
Yeah.
or what age you are.
It's interesting because you got to find that balance between, oh no, it's my dream, it's my passion, and reality.
Yeah, you do.
You got to find the balance
Yes.
there because both of them are important, you know.
If it ain't making you no money, put no, especially if you get to a place where you gotta provide for people, like it can be your
Yeah.
passion, but if you got a wife and like 2 kids at home, you got a mortgage to pay, oh,
Yeah.
you need to go find a job, or sis, you need to, I don't know. So,
Yep.
so it is what it is.
Yep. Just, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
And I wish we could talk for 2 more hours. Maybe we'll have to come back and do another moment with Just. Maybe we'll start another podcast, a side podcast, Moments with Just.
Or we could,
Uh,
just do a podcast that's based on them 10 songs that you created, and we can
oh,
talk.
stop.
And we can talk.
Stop.
And
With the too long title name. Oh my gosh.
I just, it'd be good. Hey, man, you need to express that. These people out here need to know that, like, yo.
Some mm. Them dusty, musty songs are gonna stay right where they are and right where they deserve to stay.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. I'm gonna be looking for
They
that.
had their
I
life.
hope you
They
got
had their
some.
life.
I hope you still
Mm.
got some of those CDs. And
Mm-mm.
once it goes on the internet, and once it's out there in the world, bro, in the internet,
Yep.
like you
Yep.
can always
Yep.
find it again. So
Yeah, that's why it ain't on the internet. All right. Just we gotta
yeah,
pull this plane into the hangar.
yeah.
It's been fantastic. I look forward to catching up with you real soon.
Thanks, bro.
Let's go get some food.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go play the drums. Let's go hunt for vintage toys.
I'm with it.
We'll do something.
Yeah.
But just you go kiss your babies, go kiss your beautiful wife, and go take care of your pup that's out in the garage. And make sure to pay that guy who cut your grass.
I already did. I'm waiting for him to come back and cut it down. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much for allowing me to be
Yeah.
here.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, later. Peace.
Later.